Stop. What's up, my dudes?
Yo.
He's gonna have too much fun with that.
Yeah. We're back.
And we in our heads again.
We back in our heads. We do
We're
it.
back in our heads.
And we're gonna talk about some cool stuff.
Yep. Disclaimer.
These.
Are the inner workings of our minds. We are not professionals. We are just sharing our journeys.
Alright, I'm done.
Alright.
For the moment.
So,
Getting real, getting real.
we have a really squeaky bench we're on right now.
We do have a squeaky bench.
I feel like it used to be a piano bench or something.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Anyways, fiddle bow.
Okay. So, I want to talk a little bit about fear today.
Here.
Well, I met an old man dying on a train. No more destination, no more pain. Well, he said one day before I graduate, never let your fear decide your fate. We do not claim the rights to those lyrics. We
No.
are just quoting a song.
Because we enjoy those lyrics, and
Yes.
they're very meaningful lyrics.
Absolutely.
And I've always been a really big fan of that song. I want to
Mhm.
tattoo that at some point, not that,
We were all supposed to get that as a Sibs thing.
we should
were.
still do that. So,
You and John did not like my design. I drew up for it.
forward on.
All right.
So, never letting your fear decide your fate. Like, what do we take from that realistically? Does it mean
What
like
do you
lifelong
take from
fate? Does it mean momentary fate? It means a lot of different things. So let's break it down and just kind of go over all the aspects of that. You know, how does that work into a momentary decision-making process? Well, it does in a lot of ways because it's frequent to be afraid of something or have feelings of fear before you do something that you've never done before, before you take a big step in your life in any way, because really anything that disturbs your comfort is going to be uncomfortable.
But that's where growth happens.
Yes, it absolutely is. So I've had this thing the last year or two that I've practiced that I've noticed that I've never really, for any of the cool things that I've accomplished in my life, I've never been ready to do it. You just have to do it, you know? Not to relate this to a fantasy football point, but, you know, it 'tis the season. So last year, there was a rookie, his name's Justin Herbert, plays for the Los Angeles Chargers, almost said San Diego, and he got really just like totally thrown into the game. You know, he was a rookie, just drafted, and homeboy got injured, so he had to take the reins, you know, and he didn't let his fear decide his fate, man. Justin Herbert just hammered that stuff out, and he's one of the top drafted quarterbacks this year in fantasy
Nice.
leagues because he is fantastic, and he just showed out, and he did the thing, you know? Just as a small example. So sometimes life throws you into those situations, and sometimes you got to take those steps for yourself. But either way, really being in your headspace, accepting it, and just gung ho. If you tell yourself you can or you can't, you're right. You know, not to be
Definitely.
cliche, but how often are cliches true?
Pretty often. There's one cliche lately I have not enjoyed though.
Is it about the cat hanging in there? He'll make it.
No, that's good. I hope he does.
He will.
Cats have 9 lives, so I think he'll be fine. Yeah.
Cliche you haven't been liking lately?
It doesn't pertain to the subject at hand,
Okay.
but the cliche is beggars can't be choosers. I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm gonna have to ponder that for a while.
Me in particular, I'm very
It
particular
bothers
myself.
me.
But I work. I definitely expend myself so I can have the things, you know, so I can make choices, so I can choose.
I guess I have more hearts for people that are like, I don't even know if I like the term beggars.
Yeah.
You know, it just sounds, it has a negative connotation on it. And people sometimes have really hard times and get down and don't have any way back up.
Afraid.
Fear?
Definitely.
Maybe so. Also, it's just, yeah, actually you're right.
Or
because how are
complacence.
you supposed to get back out there?
Yeah.
Complacence definitely, I think, it like falls into the fear.
Most certainly.
Like, I
We
think
were
we've all
homeless as
been there.
kids. We've been through that.
Yeah, we're
Jumping
also
around, doing what we had
kids.
to
There
do.
wasn't much we could do about it.
No,
It was more like Dad had to
Yeah.
figure his way, which he was, I guess, a beggar.
It's crazy that we did better in the system than we did with him in charge. We could tell the government what we wanted to do.
I
Yeah.
really did enjoy system life more than
You know, we had more control.
home life.
However
Yeah.
that worked out. wasn't so afraid all the time because we had more control, control. And there's a balance that comes with that as well, control, being afraid of lack of control,
And that goes in with, it's scary. Like when you go from being a kid, a teenager, going out into adulthood, I hear a lot of people saying, I don't know how to adult. And it's true because a lot of us don't know how to adult. So here we are, all are in our 20s, going around, hitting things like bumper cars. And we're like, oh my gosh, okay, now that's how you do that. And once you, go along, you've graduated your 20s. I am 26 now, and the 26-year-old me compared to 20-year-old me is very grateful for all the knowledge that I have gained.
Learning from experiences. That's what adulting is, realistically.
Yeah.
Adulting is doing things when you're not ready to do it, when you're afraid to do it, doing it anyways, and then in hindsight, you have realizations like, oh, man, that could have been done more intelligently. Not I was dumb, because I don't call myself dumb, because I'm not a dumb person. In some ways, I am ignorant to certain things because I haven't learned them yet.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that at all.
And it's fearful. But at the same time, the way to conquer that fear is to go out there and just do it.
Yeah.
I was terrified. You guys have heard me talk about it a million times, but I can't tell you how proud of myself I am for leaving a job that did not speak to me anymore. I stayed in that job for 4 years. I learned quite a bit. Oh my God. I learned quite a bit, but I'm telling you, yes.
The rumble.
My heart just went. But anyways, alright. Anyways, what was I saying?
Jump.
I took the jump,
and
I was so scared. I was terrified. And, I knew, y'all, I lost my apartment. I lived alone. I went into one of the most scariest situations of my, myself.
Yeah.
But what did I do? I accepted it. I'm like, I'm going to lose my apartment. I'm going to move back in with roommates, and I am starting over. And thank God I had a great support system. I was terrified. But facing that fear has made me stronger, and I have come out of it with so much more knowledge than if I would have stayed in that position and stayed somewhere that I knew was not truly where I was meant to be.
Word.
I freaking love that hat. It's so great.
Thanks, Jesse. This is from Jessica.
Jessica who?
Jess.
Valerie?
Yeah.
Oh, I said her name.
Yeah, I don't know if we were doing names. Anyway.
Shout out.
Shout out.
I know a lot of Jessies, so.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There do be a lot of Jessies. Like, there's a lot of Chris's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, cool hat, yo.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, I was very proud of you in that situation, too. I was scared for you, but you knew what you had to do, and you were scared the whole time. But you knew what you had to do, and you were doing it. And you were taking steps. And that's what you had some kind of structured plan, an idea. You knew where you were, and you knew where you needed to go.
I didn't know everything in between.
Don't always.
But honestly, it's kind of better that way. That's what happens when you take control of your own life and your own environment. Is you got to make that first step, and you'll figure out the rest along the way.
That's how it works.
It's a journey. All of this is a journey. You're not supposed to have everything figured out. And that's the fun thing about life, is it's a freaking journey. And you can mold it to what you want it to be. If you are unhappy or if you're miserable, find something to make you happy.
Yeah.
Start taking charge, start taking control, start facing your fears. Because I freaking love my life. A year ago, I could not say that. But this whole past year has been awakening and breaking things that weren't good for me.
It's the same thing with depression, too, while we're on this, because this is something I personally struggled with very recently. We say we're back in our headspace. It's because we were in headspaces that weren't the best in the world, not our finest moments, but we knew that we would break through, and, especially because we quit smoking, nothing controls us at all anymore. All the things that, might have in the past at any point in time, we are actually free of anything controlling our headspaces but ourselves now.
But we had to break through that.
Yes, this is the breakthrough, and I knew that.
Breakthrough.
So it was worth the time and effort. Anyways, so nearing the end of that depression, I had a day where I was just like, look, you can't control the world. I want you all to love each other. I want you all to not, attack, and I gotta stay off Facebook, man, because I see people just tearing each other apart because they have different views, and we whatever. I get it. But I can't control that about the world. I can't make people love each other unconditionally in any form of the way. And that's my problem, that's my struggle, that's where I was, because I have been a unifier my entire life. I've always cared that people get along and love each other no matter what, and that there's greater good that comes from it. So what was I doing? You know, I reveled into myself, and I just disassociated completely. So I reached a point where I reflect on myself and I say, hey, no matter where you're at or what your headspace has led you to believe, it's up to you what you do right now. You know, if you want to feel good, you have to go do something that makes you feel good. You know, I used to have really good habits about going out and doing things for people, or donating money, or just doing small things for anybody. Like an old lady's taking her groceries out of the store, you know, just go put them up. I pulled somebody's car up for them one time, and it's these things, you do them, you don't tell anybody you did them, and you know, that's integrity. And I hadn't been doing anything. I'd been spending all of my time in my room that I had free, and that's literally what it is, you know. You sit with issues, or you sit with a cure, you know, something that will bring sustenance to your life, something that will enrich your soul, your personality, you as yourself. And I was afraid to make those steps anymore. I just was so convinced and caught up in the fact that, you know, fearful that this is the way the world is always going to be. What am I going to do? I'm trapped in it. But I can be trapped or I can be free. Mm-hmm. You know, that's up to me.
Like, we all know that the world isn't great. We're all aware of that. What I was telling Chris during those times, I think I said it more than once, was I accepted a long time ago that I can't change the world. But what I can do is change the world around me. And I can help those who are around me. My friends, my loved ones, my close people. The people I meet at the grocery store, like you were talking about, restaurants, wherever I go. I have been tipping fast food workers because those kids right now are having a really hard time. Like, they're out there working and I know people aren't great to them.
This has nothing to do with minimum wage. Everyone is short-staffed.
Everybody.
Be nice. Be kind.
Be nice. And giving a kid an extra $5 and the look he gave me. Oh my, it broke.
Day, man.
It broke my heart. The reason I even did it was because he answered me on the thing, and I was like, man, there is sadness. Like, I could feel it. It choked me up a bit. And so I went around and I'm like, this is for you. I hope you have a good night. And the look he gave me, it just like my heart just reached out. It was just like, I just want to hug you.
Given an unexpected act of kindness.
Trying to do a little bit better in someone's day, because you never know how hard people are struggling. That's what I love to do.
Positivity is more powerful than negativity, but we live in a world consumed by negativity. The more good we put out into it, the more the good will grow and prosper.
And it feels good.
It does.
It feels good to be good to people. It doesn't feel good to spread negativity.
No, it feels miserable. And it makes you feel miserable. And then you get caught up in the dumbest thing. What one person said to me earlier today, well, maybe they were having a bad day. Maybe they were in a mood, you know? Like, it happens. It doesn't mean it has anything to do with you. But if you take that and you just spread that around to everybody else, then everyone's having a bad day. Mm-hmm. You know? I stubbed my toe, and man, that really sucked. I can be in pain all day. But if I smile at somebody when I can tell they're in a bad mood, even if they're rude to me, it's going to lift their spirits a little bit. Or maybe it'll make them wonder, like, oh man, what was that guy's deal? He sure was nice. Well, either way, you're still thinking about it. Mm-hmm. Thinking about that positivity, because it spreads.
Definitely. But yeah.
Don't be afraid to reach out.
Don't be afraid to reach out.
While we were rambling. So fear deciding fate, small things become good things. Honestly, we said we were going to break it down, start small, and then work your way up to the end of life scale. But realistically,
how do you want your life to look?
Right.
That's something I've asked myself quite a bit through my 20s. That's why I take these opportunities that come my way, doing stuff that I've never quite done before. I've heard multiple times, especially working in nursing, both of us have, from young ages, we took care of the elderly.
Yeah.
And one thing they've always said is, just be young, go out and do things. So that's how I try to live my life. I do all the things now that I can. I try not to miss opportunities that aren't realistic. I have to some, because some I'm a broke kid, still, in my 20s.
We do what we do.
But
That's part of learning.
Yeah.
Ooh, really, I'm being pulled away.
Well.
Much love. I'll let you wrap this up. That must be important.
Oh, I'm alone now. All right.
I love you guys and we appreciate you. We'll be back soon.
Yeah, I gotta figure out where I was at. Guys, I lost it. So I'm gonna leave now. Peace out. Don't let your fear decide your fate. Go out and do something new sometime soon. If you're not happy, well, hello.
There's a letter from Brittany.
Brittany's letter?
Yeah, our sister in the military wrote me a letter.
I've been checking my mailbox. I haven't gotten nothing. I was just wrapping it up because I forgot what I was saying before I heard the...
Sorry.
It's okay.
We'll have equipment soon and be able to edit these blunders out.
Yeah.
It's actively happening.
It is actively happening.
I'm
We've been
excited.
saying that for a minute.
No, but it's actively happening.
happening.
Yeah, like you're doing.
What was I saying before I heard...
Feels like fate. We're wrapping up that point. Well, small thing, big thing.
I wish I could rewind the video and like...
So, yeah, like we said, sometimes it's about the big things, and taking those steps. Where do you want your life to go?
Yes, that's where we were. Okay, great. So yeah, like here I am in my 20s. Where do I want to be in my 30s? Where do I want to be in my 40s? I have a rough estimate of who I want to be and what I want to do. Career-wise, I don't even think about that. For now, I'm happy where I'm at, Actually, Tyler, our youngest brother, called me the other day, and he was stressing out about adulthood, and he was like...
It's like that.
He was like, I just don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like, you want to know a secret?
Yes,
and
but
he's
show him
like,
what to do.
hold on. No, just wait.
Hmm?
I was like, do you want to know a secret? And he was like, yeah, I do. And I was like, none of us do.
Yeah.
Like, none of us know what we want to do or, like, have an idea of fully where we want to go. I'm like, but you know the cool thing? And he was like, what? I was like, you can choose something for now and figure it out later if you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
That's my favorite, like, little,
It's your life,
thing
take
about
charge.
adulthood that I figured out. I was like, I don't have to know, like, in high school, they drill that into your head. What are you going to do for the rest of your life?
You want to pick one thing, and that's your thing, and that's the only thing.
And I'm just like, I don't know. I want to be a jack of all trades. So that's what I'm going to do. Massage therapy now, I might do something
Variety.
different.
Vibe it out. Enjoy what you're doing. Love
Yeah.
what you're doing. And he's honestly got the world at his feet because he hasn't been shown
that's a
like a
scary
specific
thing.
way. This is what you have to do. He knows what he's interested in, what he's passionate about. And he's found
Absolutely.
opportunities for himself, and that's a really great way that's the best way to learn on your own.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Because you're following your own tune.
Yeah. It's scary, but you also have to get used to following your own tune and doing things for yourself.
I like that. I'm at the
Yeah.
tune of 26 right now. I'm about to be at the tune of 27. I'm thinking radio stations. I don't know. It's a weird visual.
I'm still afraid of 30, but here I am. I'm not going to let it decide my fate, as we've been talking about in this video, which was the point.
Mm-hmm.
We got 18. So.
I'm going to sneeze. Alright,
We can wait. Alright, much love to you guys. Thank you. We appreciate you, and we will be back very, very soon. Thank you for always watching.
Yeah, so here's your Midwestern goodbye, because I almost said goodbye earlier. Peace out, my dudes.